Thank you, Stephen, for the introduction. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Aisha Grover. I'm a project officer at the European University Continuing Education Network. EUCEN is partner in the Democrat project, as well as in the IncludeMe Plus project, which Emmanuel will shortly be presenting after. Let me introduce you to Manuel. Emmanuel Acquah is a professor in the Abo Academic University of Turku in Finland and is coordinator of the IncludeMe Plus project. Emmanuel will give us a short introduction to the IncludeMe Plus project. So, Emmanuel, when you want, you can start. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Aisha, for the introduction and for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here to talk to you today about the project. In a few minutes, I'll share my screen, but before that, whilst I do that, I wish to really thank the Finnish National Agency for and the European Commission for funding this project, which is really important and exciting for us all as project members. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
I can put it in slide mode. Let's see. Is it okay like this?
Yep.
It's perfect. Okay. And because it's an intellectual work, I also wish to thank our partner, Outside Media, who took the lead in writing the proposal. And for example, the slides that I'll be sharing with you today, the 9 designs were done by one other partner, Momentum. So we thank you for your work. The topic has been introduced already. So the project is about participation and peace building through mediation in digital media. And I'll briefly introduce to you. The main aim is to actually see how digital media we can promote, we can use non-formal mediation to promote what you see there: participation, peace building, and inclusion. This is the aim of the project. And let me put some more highlight to this. Why this project? We know that the media today is commonly accepted to be the fourth estate or the fourth power. The media has a lot of power, as I say here, in communication, and they do put out a lot of information. We feed off a lot of stuff from the media. So it becomes really powerful tool today in what information is put out there and what citizens feed off of. This was one of the key things that we identified, which is based off of a project that we had done. So the idea is how, if we can equip the media to be reasonable in the information they put out there by using some of these tools, what we call non-formal mediation, we go a long way to promote inclusion, participation, and peace building, which is really crucial in our world today. So let me give an example. Being such a powerful tool today, I'm talking of the media here, they are often seen as a two-edged or a double-edged sword, right? So it's both negative and it has some positive aspect to it as well. For example, the media, through what they seek to achieve, sensation or ratings, would put out information that really would trigger a lot of discussion, and through that they get a lot of clicks and ratings. If that is the aim, they care not what information they put out there. This perpetuates some stereotype, in fact harmful stereotype, can create discrimination, stigmatization. An example is Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As we know, during the start of this project, we talked to some Ukrainian students who are resident currently in Finland, and they expressed some experiences about how the media have portrayed this whole invasion. We do not get the picture and the experience these young people had. So this is one clear example. So it can be really bad, depending on what the media decides to put out there. The positive side is that they have the real power, explicit power, and capacity to be advocates. They can really advocate, and they have that platform and can use it powerfully. You also know that they can also influence political decision. So the media can choose whichever way they want to go, either positive or negative. Unfortunately, in the world today, I would argue that what we tend to see more is this sensation and this or the need for ratings and to just put information out there which will really trigger clicking and going to read this. But human beings feed off of this information. So we aim in this project to really empower higher education institutions, precisely educators, media, civil society organizations, and in fact, students to become responsible and active in shaping the future of informing or information and reporting. So that all together we can contribute to an inclusive, participatory, and peace building within Europe, but globally. That is the goal of this project. How are we going to do that? We've identified 3 crucial work packages or detailed action points how to get to this goal. The first one is what we call is merely research, and we're using the participatory action research to achieve that. Participation action research just means that we involve experts who have lived the experience, who are experienced in the topic, in this case, media and peace building and non-formal mediation. Expert, people who have this knowledge and have experiences, we bring them together. We put together ideas that would promote or what they know and what works and what doesn't work. This is basically what we are mapping out how non-formal mediation can be used as an effective tool here. And we use the expert, people who have experience and know the know-how to bring together this knowledge that we can then use, for example, in the second action plan, which is a training program. We are going to have an open educational resource that will be open to anyone on this planet, open access, anyone, anywhere can have access to that. And by taking this training, you'll be taught through some of how you can become a better person in terms of your reportage. How do you report? If you're a media person, how do you report? So that it's more participatory, it's more inclusive and reflective of the thinking that we can get it wrong, trigger conflict indirectly or directly with our reportage, or really contribute to creating a peaceful and more inclusive society. Taking this course, you would learn that, talking of higher education institutions, for example, at Oba Academy, we have a program in peace and mediation. Students can take this course as part of their studies through that they get the skill or they accumulate the skill of how to engage in some of these civic participation activities. And the last action point will be the IncludeMe media. This will collect documented stories in the form of short videos, just like this project you're doing here, and which will deposit on YouTube in a place where people can go to. It will be a combination of good practices, know-how, how to do it. So step-by-step process of how do I get it right and how do I do it? That combined with the training program, we hope media, higher education institutions, and society at large can collect some information and knowledge base about how to promote a society that aims to live coherently, peacefully, and not create myths and information that really promote conflict or the ideation of conflict. This is what we aim to do in this process, and this is in a gist what the project stand for IncludeMe Plus, stand for we hope to do. We are passionate about that, and we are looking forward to working with our partners. So some clear, achievable aims I've listed here. We hope to boost participation and civic engagement. And again, by going through all of these 3 action points, our hope is that we would have proven through the research, the participatory action research, what is it that works? What do the experts say? What have they done themselves that worked or did not work? All that will be collected, put together with a lot of research again to create a training program. The training program will further educate all of us. And through that, together with this IncludeMe Media, we hope that we'll all be equipped well enough to really know that our actions matter, especially in media, and how we communicate can either really lead society on the wrong path or lead us on the right path. And that is to live peaceably, happily, knowing that this is achievable. It is achievable and very important. We also would raise awareness within Europe about the values and principles of unity and diversity. I do hear this a lot everywhere, that Europe is homogeneous. Historically, Europe has not been homogeneous. It's been very diverse. And today, some of the important tenets or the values of the EU is, of course, human dignity, human rights, democracy, equity, and respect for others. This is diversity. And if we can all achieve this aim, the media plays a crucial role here in how they report and the kind of narrative that they put out there to the public. Of course, an important aspect of it is to provide new methods of media, content reasoning, and creation. And this has come up clearly in my presentation. So how do I report? How do I write? If there is something happening here, for example, using the war in Ukraine, and I must say that one of our partners, the partners are a Ukrainian university, which speaks a lot to the goal to really tackle this problem of how we report the media and higher education institution, what we teach and how we teach about all of this, what is happening around us today in our society. Right, so that is it in brief. I'm happy to continue the conversation with you, and your questions are welcome, including people online. Thank you very much, Aisha. I bring it back to you.
Thank you for the presentation, Emmanuel. It was really enlightening. As you said, the project is targeted to students. I believe they are mostly from higher education institutions, but do you think the outcomes of the IncludeMe Plus project could be also useful for secondary school education?
Definitely, that's a very good question. I'm a pedagogue, I'm a teacher educator, and so we think more of higher education. That's right. The idea is that it's also how we teach who is going out. They have the most influence, right? But like I mentioned, we are working with schools and teachers in schools, and we are promoting this project and the outcome. It can be used with students. In fact, content and the knowledge that we'll put together here is not going to be very demanding in terms of understanding. We are collecting basically what we know and simple language and what is happening in society, putting it together and sharing it. This is a point where we put knowledge together, make it accessible to society. So it can be used, I would argue, with school students, especially high school students. The content should be understandable at that level.
And you repeated that you take into account in this project the Ukrainian war and its consequences. Do you, with IncludeMe Project, address other challenges to liberal democracy, such as political polarization, right-wing extremism, and other challenges?
Definitely. And we have expertise from the partners, not just that, and from the research background of people. And this is important. We have one researcher who is looking into democracy and civic participation. And we know, including the country I'm coming from, Finland, today, the political arena is charged, right, with this far right and the extremists, and the discourse is not pleasant at all about how we talk about everything. The idea is to incite citizens to really gain support by pouring out whatever we do not we want to pour out there, not thinking about the impact. So yes, this project, through what we do, the target group is wide. And so this whole work package and what we are aiming to do is to put together something that will feed into whether you're in higher education, whether you're a politician, local or national level, regardless of where you're doing your work, you can get something out of this work and it will be useful. So the youth can learn from that they can be active participants in politics, in the discourse, societal discourse, and whatever is happening around them, by taking the role and acquiring knowledge about how we actually mediate conflict in our own circles by being responsible. So in media, it's all about being responsible here in what you write. And if you're in a small group, in the school, can we be responsible in the information, the content that we teach and everything? So yes, we look into all of this, and we have different expertise in this project to tackle all of these aspects.
Do you think that the outcomes of the IncludeMe Plus project, the educational program, and the others can contribute to advance the human rights, gender equality, and foster a peaceful culture?
Definitely, and we are excited about it because, like I said, we have done one project where we use mediation. It was called IncludeMe. This is IncludeMe 2 or IncludeMe Plus. So it's a follow-up on that. It was such a success. This is why the consortium decided to start, continue and scale it up, actually. We are excited. And as time wouldn't permit me to really break it down, but what we are aiming to do here is to really collect like a module, a study model with the open educational resource, where we'll have like a whole course there, if you call it so, a step-by-step walkthrough about this topic and how you can use mediation, use it responsibly to promote inclusion, participation, and civic participation and peace building. So there'll be all these topics will be captured, and I'm not saying like it will be just these 3 topics, broken into subunits. So by going through the whole program or the course, you will come out well-educated, knowing what to do, of course, with databases, resources where you can go to learn more, to enhance your practices. This will be unique in the sense that it's not just for higher education, but if you're a media person, there will be something for you. If you're a politician, you would find modules and aspect content that will be useful for you. So yes, we are convinced, and we are in the process of doing the participatory action research, and the results are very revealing and very promising. So we are very confident that this project will make an impact. The output will be very useful and satisfactory to whoever would engage with it.
We've got a question from Georgios, who's watching online, asking whether media sensationalism due to individual journalists' coverage, is it due to individual journalist coverage, or is it a matter of commercial or political goals of the media owners? And if it's the latter, what is journalism training going to achieve?
Very interesting question. Thank you, Giorgio, for your question. I would say it's all or both. You outline about 3. I would say it's all. You know, why am I saying it's all? Individual. People do this to get promotion. You might not agree with me, but this is just like the university. We all do everything just to move on up in the ladder. So by being the most viewed news or the most clicked, whatever you become popular in your work, there is a need. Your employer will see a need to keep you. This is one of the motivations to please your employer, of course. So for me, it's all of these. What are we doing about educating? Probably not the best person to answer that question because I'm not a journalist and I do not train journalists. I train teachers, but we have a program here, master's program, which I work a lot with. I would say what I know is that we have to be responsible ourselves. This is why we are involved in higher education in this project. How we train journalists, who and the content, we should start off there by being responsible. And if we can highlight that we are training you to be responsible yourself, we are starting very well. And that should be the caveat here, that higher education institution, whoever trains media men, that's where we should start with promoting the idea that since we can be sensational, it's of course part of humanity, but we have to be responsible and think about the implications for the larger society.
Another question would be, in what ways do you think specifically the IncludeMe Plus project increases participation and the civic engagement of the target groups or also the general public?
Thank you very much. For example, this research that we are doing, we are inviting media men, higher education teachers, civil society. We bring all of these groups together in a room, or it can be online like this one, where we brainstorm for several hours during sessions. What we do, we'll have questions that will really help them to brainstorm around what are the experiences, how have we tackled this in society. And remember, with all of these groups, media men present or journalists present, higher education teachers, students present, the synergy, we will learn a lot. And this is what we are producing. We do not end here. We'll meet this group quite a number of times, at least 3 times, to go through this, and we are hopefully going to produce this. There is a lot of dissemination effort, and we are really doing that online, LinkedIn, Instagram, several places that we are trying to promote the outcome. And as a university, we have the real ability to sell this as open access, the OER that will produce. So yes, the outreach will be big. Already from the previous project, we know that we hit over 20,000 visitors on our website. We hopefully will launch our website very soon. And if we start populating and with destination, we believe that we will hit a larger portion of the society. Remember, we are quite many countries in this project. So by involving at least 6 countries, the reach will be huge. That is our hope, and I believe it's achievable.
And we got another comment in from the chat from Jan, agreeing that young people must become involved as they are inheriting our complex global problems. How else can we expand their involvement? Selecting the teachers you train is key, as they must be change agents at the same time. And how to do that? So a couple of questions there.
Right. Did I get you right? How many questions? Sorry, Stephen, can you repeat? Is it just 1 question or 2?
It was 2. First of all, how to expand
Right.
the involvement of young people. And
Right.
second, how to train teachers as change agents.
Very good questions. With the youth, this is why we included Instagram. Aisha is very young, so thankfully we have people like her in the project that advise old and conservative guys like me who is not sociable in terms of media at all. So we hope our reach. We even talk. Let me mention. I don't know. You can correct me, Aisha. We even talk about TikTok and the fact that we have these videos on YouTube. We would promote it in whatever way we believe we can get hold of the young community. They are the generation of net citizens, so we have to use that medium. People like me, we enjoy reading text, like articles and stuff. So we are not excluded. We'll also be doing a lot of publications through other communication that like the university communication channels and even the media. We intend to reach people that way. And the last question about teacher education and media education. That is a very good question and is very close to my heart. Actually, that's what I research into. That we need to modify how we do that. Precisely to answer your question, is to modify the content and how we teach. Often, people like me who teach in university, we are glued to the content. We almost like worship the content. We do exactly what the content tells us to do. Let's remember this curricula has been created and they did not think of our world today. So what we mean by modify your content or curriculum is to see that this curriculum was prepared some 20, 30, 50 years ago. Is it relevant today? Yes, but it doesn't answer the questions we have today, including the invasion of Ukraine. So if I'm a teacher, what I should do is to include these new things happening within society that are not written in the curriculum. It doesn't take time. It's just simple modification to reflect realities today. This is what we should do at universities, at schools, to really include students in the national discourse, to be aware of what is happening in society and globally, to become global citizens and to stand for advocacy and democracy.
Yeah, and also comments, human rights, ESCER, play an important role in the project, maybe as the common denominator for thinking of peaceful futures.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. And like I said, we have expertise in diverse fields here. So I'm just one of them. Aisha is just one of them. We have expertise from technology to democracy and all this. That was a good comment. Thank you.
So if there is no more questions from the chat, I would end the session here.